Hi there. So I actually did immigration for my text set theme, and so the book I decided to do this text set lesson plan on is Mama's Nightingale. I've read this book so many times, and I think it gives the students a great perspective to see what immigration is like, and from the student's perspective or the child's perspective of the effects of immigration and how sometimes they get separated. This book does a very good job of saying it in a kid-friendly way because this is a story of immigration and separation. To start off, the standard that I chose was for third grade, and it was use information gained from illustrations, which is like maps or photographs, and the words in the text to demonstrate understanding of the text. So I chose this standard because as we read, there's great illustrations in here, but as we read, you'll be able to see all the different components of the story and how it connects to immigration, while part of my pre-reading is going to be showing the students maps and different countries to show them where they journey from, and so they're going to be able to make connections from that, and then which will help them in return write their reflection questions and comprehension questions. So the strategy I chose is think, pair, share. So the students are first going to all read the book independently, and then they will be able to think about what they read about, what their feelings are. Then they're going to pair up with their partner, and this will be a partner that I'm going to choose because I don't want any issues in the classroom. They're going to just discuss what they read about, what was interesting to them, what was new to them, what they liked about the book, how does it make them feel after reading the book too. And then we're going to group into or lead into a group discussion. And I thought that a second strategy could be the fishbowl discussion, which is something I had never heard of before this class. And then we can have a really good group discussion about it. And then I will set them in a table group. So they'll have a few more peers working with them so that they're able to talk more about it. So this strategy will fit grades 3 through 12. And I think it gives every student an opportunity to talk, think, write, share, anything, and it can be applied to any genre. So you could do a think, pair, share for history about a history article that you read about, or science, something that the students researched, or math, even how the math problem helped them or didn't, what they learned, what they struggled with. For different strategies for students, elementary, I kind of just explained it, but for middle and high school, I would definitely have this strategy be more in depth, and they might have to write more of essay response questions or have a little bit more deeper questions to answer, while English language learners would use more visuals to help guide them through it if they aren't quite understanding the concepts that we're putting in front of them. So the strategy I said is related to constructivism because the students are constructing their knowledge based off what they read and how it applies to the lesson, while it's also it's done during reading and after reading. So during reading, they're grabbing the concepts that they're thinking of and constructing these ideas of, okay, that's why Miss Ashley showed us the maps and this is where they came from, and now they're in America trying to stay safe as a refuge. And that's another book that I actually have in my text set is Refugees and Migrants, which is another really great book, children-friendly language about people that move out of their country to stay safe. So I thought that was very important. But before the students read, I'm gonna connect the students to the topic of what diversity is, what immigration is, what families may be going through at home. We never know. You never know what someone's going through at school, anything like that. My activity before reading is I'm going to have the students draw out their families. It's going to show their family dynamics and also their flags. So for mine, it would be England's flag or the United States flag. And then they will be able to share with their table groups who's all in their family, and if they moved here from out of the country, if they moved here from a different state, anything like that. So the purpose of this assignment is to explain about different countries and how people are moving from these countries that are unsafe. So then during reading, I'm going to have the students read the first 2 pages, then we'll collectively come back together and we're going to predict what's going to happen in the text and why we have those predictions. And then I'm also going to have them point out information that's specifically related to immigration and why they think it's specifically related to immigration. And then I'll ask the students if they have any connections about this with connections with the main character in Mama's Nightingale, which is this young girl right here. Her mom actually ends up in jail because she got separated from them, and so her dad and her go visit the mom. So then after reading, I'll have the students write down their initial thoughts, just in like a writer's notebook or reader's notebook, and then the students will connect these thoughts to different perspectives with their peers or from a different story or our pre-reading. And then after, I'm going to have the students talk with their peers where they are able to comprehend the text and share what they talked about, share what confused them, share any feelings they had towards it, and then we'll have a group discussion to see how it affects families. So how would you feel in this situation? What would you do if your mom was in jail? Questions like that. And then the students will then get their exit ticket. And this exit ticket will have 2 or 3 comprehension questions on it, and that's going to allow me to assess them directly, each student. So for my closure, I'll say, after we read this text and shared ideas with partners, what did we learn from the story? Could you make any connections to this reading? And how do you feel about families who are experiencing immigration and seeking refuge? Like, what would you do if you were in their footsteps? So then I'll have them have you guys write your exit ticket answers on your slip, and that will allow me to notice what you learned. And so after the students talk about all their questions and write down their answers, we'll have the group fishbowl discussion. They'll each already be holding their exit slip, so then we can do any more reflecting or anything else necessary, where I'm also able to check for understanding. I could also, in that moment, pair them up into specific little table groups where they can share their exit ticket or any feelings they have, and then one student from each table group will be able to stand up and share those answers. So for the assessment portion, I said that my students will be able to show what they learned by participating with sharing with their partners, and then their table group, and then the group discussion. I'll also be able to directly assess what they learned because of the exit ticket. I'll be able to see what they retain from it and what they're able to write about, because those will be turned in directly to me. Nobody else is going to see their exit ticket. So it'll also show me if we should read some more into it, or if they've got this concept of immigration down. So the materials for this is just a notebook, writing utensils, the copy of the book, and you can also find it online. So if my students have Chromebooks or something like that, we could all read it online. And then reflection questions to answer at the end. Besides that, all the group talk and everything, the students are able to move themselves into wherever they feel comfortable in the classroom for comfortable seating and a safe environment. So that's my book.